Hello. Welcome back, people. How's everyone? Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah. More Disco Elysium this afternoon. That's the plan. And for starters, I'm going with controller, and it's confusing because it has the B for back and A for select. So it knows, and I even restarted the game, it knows I'm using an Xbox controller. Like, it even says Y up at the top there. For all of that stuff. Oh, there we go. On this one, it's showing Xbox controls. But on that one, it's showing PlayStation. How weird. Did they just never remember to change this menu? Doesn't matter. It's fine. Just odd. Let's jump back in. Yeah, it felt like this game is perfectly playable on a controller. Maybe even some of the way it's done works towards it because it's got your left and right hand on L3 and R3. That takes us in there. So far, very manageable. Yeah, alright. And we are learning Mazovian socioeconomics. What was on the cards? What do we got? Let's have a look. We'll check the watermarks in the headlights. Yes. Style your paperwork. This will take time. Ask Gart about the clothes. I'm not going to bother asking Kuno. Pay for damages. He wanted like 100, right? I don't think we have very much. In terms of cash? I don't know where we see though. We'll ask him about the clothes. There we go.
Can I help you?
Here's your trash container key. We'll give that back for a start.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for.
Oh, that reminds me. That will mean I have to redo this. Might as well do it now before I forget. It's annoying that it needs doing every time. But whatever, as long as I remember. Boop. Connect that. Did it. Big success. That should be all good. Targeting interactables. Right stick. Got it. Reset camera and zoom. Heal health. Heal morale. I found the victim's clothes.
How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
One seems a bit much. Could someone on your could someone else on your staff have put them there? Or that one? Which is the better way to ask the question? Who else has keys?
The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Not what I wanted to know.
The elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road. Thank you anyway.
Could someone on your staff have done it?
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene.
Okay, sure.
Yes?
Wait, I saw another thing at the whirling. What thing?
Another thing. Great. I love those.
Oh.
Yes.
I am going to sing karaoke here, though.
Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question.
Mm-hmm.
First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit. Your body is ready, sire.
Awesome. The body is ready, the mind is willing. We can go in here now. I remember, we didn't do this yet. Welcome, cheers. Smell of chemicals and pine trees. Photos of men in overalls toting guns and Union placards. Union-friendly bar, huh? What did I find there? Oh no, it's him. It's Kim. What up, dude? Spices, alcohol, and tomato. Uh-huh.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek.
I was just wondering how on earth I access those things on the side now on controller. Not that button. Damn.
Okay, it's definitely not his name.
Whoops.
Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Kubek. Please. It's not funny.
To be fair, my morale had taken a couple of hits, so giving us an extra pit before we bottom out isn't necessarily the worst idea. It's only 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm not gonna... We're all good. We're all good. That's not his name. Hello, sir. Have you got time for a few questions?
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
You got some impressive pots there?
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn.
He understands at least.
It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Okay. I think that's all good. Stay masculine? Weird thing to say, but alright. It didn't say steal. Yeah. Wait, we need 100 real, right? We have 1.75. I don't think he's mute. He was just talking in a language that Harry, I think his name is Harry, didn't understand. That's why we picked up the two words that weren't his name. Probably. How do I? Maybe I have to click those with the mouse? Maybe. Anyway, worry about those when we have some options worth doing it with, I guess. Was Matey here before? Maybe we talked to him? Haven't tried. Man is sleeping at the table, wearing mudcake boots, rolled down overalls. His shirt reads Wild Pines.
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
I'm just gonna take them. I am a policeman. I probably shouldn't. I do feel like my need's much greater than his, but maybe we let him keep them. Although for all, I mean, never mind. We'll leave him. We'll leave him. Get to the headlamps. Got it. Pigs go home. Sure, simple. Headlamps first, and then we'll talk to this. We'll talk to them first.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
I'll listen.
From another planet. Hey there.
I am the law. Then RoboCop noises. I don't know. Or would that be more Judge Dredd? Either or. Either or.
It's the jam, my man.
Something about the lorries?
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils, heavy metals and other byproducts of the modern era. You can almost taste it.
What's the jam? Apart from a cool 60s? 70s band? 70s? Might even be 80s. Anyway.
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days.
So how long have you been here?
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes and mazout.
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuel oils. This man has a barely suppressed performative streak, or he just likes unusual words, or both.
No spoilers. I didn't even know I could kill Kuno. And I have not. I haven't even tried. I dig your style, man. What? Yeah.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already. So tell me, what do you need?
Tell me more about this strike.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
What's the union demanding?
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess.
Giant new power crane, ownership of half the company. In that order?
I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
Wild Pines, that'll be the person asleep at the bar, I guess? At the hostel? Okay. Just check that. Maybe works out that we didn't take her medicine. Her, whatever they were. Paracetamol or something. What do you think the company wants?
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man.
Yep.
Ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else I should know?
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
All of who?
Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
No, sure makes sense. Not you?
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
Uh-huh.
He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior.
What do I see in his eyes? Let's try.
Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
We'll leave it. Oh, I can't. Ugh. I feel like one's kind of more invasive maybe than this. Two feels like more casual and chummy, which may be a bit too much, but also like telling someone they look sad is... Don't go around telling people they look sad. Spill the beans. What's troubling you, dude?
Man, nothing's troubling me. Just the usual Lorman tropes and hopes. The road and the rhymes. This jam ain't helping either.
Sure.
That all the beans you got, Tommy? Damn, it really is hard to talk, man to man.
Do I kind of want to... We do need some money. We'll do that at the end, though. We'll ask for info first. What are you hauling anyway?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff
Sweet.
like that.
Nice.
Relax. He's merely joking.
You're under arrest. Wicked. I've always wanted a friend in the underworld.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
They usually get shipped to Grodd in the Occident.
He's
Though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately.
He's on his way to JD Sports, huh? That's your machine behind you?
This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6.
That's sweet talking with a bit of car talk, man-to-man car talk. Yeah, I can do it in a video game. That a found A6 you got there, buddy?
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together.
Feel like this is going down the corruption route, right? Can it just fall off the back of the truck? I don't even want a fucking truck. I'd rather have my piss-stained suit than some off the back of a lorry tracksuit, thank you. Other questions?
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Do you know anything about the dead man? The one behind the hostel?
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
I can believe it.
It's easy
Kinda.
to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
What you been up to?
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries.
Quite like Tommy.
Sad, despondent chauffeurs.
Ask for his conclusion.
And your conclusion?
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees.
How's the volume, by the way? Do I need to turn them up or make voices louder? Usually, I'd say the voiceover's a little quiet in comparison to the music, but I'm really enjoying the music, and it's not always there. We're all good? We're all good. I guess it's time. Can you spare any change? Just about tree fitty.
Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work.
Who's they?
The bosses, man.
Sure. Do we go hard on it? I don't know who these bosses think they are, but that sounds like a good arrangement for them.
Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had, say, 4 myself.
Fair. Okay. Thanks for the talk.
Don't be a stranger.
Could have a look. Goods from the lorry all around. Wait, this is Wild Pines? Some Wild Pines lorry? Can I? Haven't been anywhere around here, have I? Wait. Oh, I see where I've gone. Humanox. Oh, hi there. Oh, what's that? Money! Finders keepers.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face.
American?
The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden
Just
as
looking
her
at the
smile.
portrait, maybe?
It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. Maybe she's your...
She's not my grandma. Excuse me, ma'am. I'd like to ask some questions.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Hi?
Wait,
Oh.
she's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
Alright, fine. Fair. If she's this spaced out, it's not like she will have seen anything, let's be honest. Her. Money! We're rolling in it now. Now they store booze. Got keggers. I'll come on half-time, work night shifts. What? Who's this boy?
Bastards! We have a right to work!
Scab leader, huh? Okay. What's going on here?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
The broad-shouldered alpha male turns to you. Yeah, alright. Come on, Chad Broski.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
Why should I?
We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes.
I don't really want to be standing for the scabs, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want to start a fight with them either. We can do that though, can't we? Also, I want to see what that does. I'm going to click it. I don't know when it activates, but I clicked it. I don't know. No one? Fair enough. We'll leave it then. Oh. Fine, then I'm thinking no.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work! Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
Kind of a cause are we talking about?
Rights of people, rights of workers, to have gainful employment, to make a salary, and feed their families.
His manner of speaking is wooden, the tone of voice bland and uninspired, almost as if compiling replies.
Yeah, you're just a puppet. I don't think I've chosen any sides yet, buddy.
Might be time. Don't let the fat bastards tread on you. Cops tend to side with the higher-ups, but you're essentially still workers.
But you're fighting to be able to break union action, presumably? So you're siding with the higher-ups? By saying you'll accept worse working conditions for immediate gain?
I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the right to work! Right to work!
No, not right to work. Alright, I got questions.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
Shame on you!
Unless it's the business locking them out for whatever reason. Like, I assume if we have scabs though, it's because it's a strike. I don't know.
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
Right.
So do we, Scott.
Shall we, just for the sake of what is a strike?
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't
Uh-huh.
get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
Yeah, and what do the strikers want?
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we
Imagine.
have the right to work!
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting.
In what way? Are you saying he's a plant?
His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with much more corpulence.
You wearing new clothes, dude?
He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both.
This guy's a
fists
fucking
in the air.
plant.
The clothes are obviously not his. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what.
Who are all these strike breakers?
Honest men and women
Uh-huh.
with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If Union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
Guy's an idiot. Come on, Chad.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
Uh-huh.
You think they follow because I'm big and loud?
Yes, that's how it works.
They follow the rules
No.
of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
What do we think? Do people follow 1, big and loud, or 2, sense and rules and market? No, come on. Come on. If we've learned anything in the past decade.
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
Nice. Okay, I gotta ask. Where exactly are you from?
What's it to you?
Curiosity.
Big mess caused by Union greed. But I only fight for the rights of people.
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy under the guise of this fighter for jobs. He seems a more brutal, cunning, and suspicious person. Just a hunch. Or you just might be paranoid.
Don't think so. I already got that part. I'm interested in your background.
We're all workers, right?
Uh-huh.
Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
Bouncer, huh? Where? I frequent a lot of bars. Maybe it's one I know.
Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell?
I don't want to just call him out, though. Not right now, but I might have been there. Don't remember things well.
Uh-huh. It was a long time ago.
What exactly is your goal here?
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
And you can't get in, huh?
Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guards blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is.
Wait, head measurer?
Huge Seminese guy standing up there on the overhead passage. Won't let anyone by. The access panel is right behind him.
How bad could it be? You're a big guy.
Bad. Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous position. And he's trained.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This guy is super sus.
I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke. And my men are tired and hungry.
My
They're
men.
workers, not fighters.
Yours, are they? Have you tried talking to them?
Like civilized folk, you mean? These native fucks don't understand civilized.
Uh-huh.
Odd out-of-place colonial reference there, Mr. Scab Leader.
Yeah.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home. At least for now. If you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
Alright. Well, I want to get in there too.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss.
This is an official matter, not to be discussed with outsiders.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
I don't know.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
Yeah, we're out of here. What are we looking at? Let's talk to the gate. Greater Revachol Industrial Harbour, huh? How do we talk to this boy up here, maybe?
Scab?
No.
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
I'm not a scab, I'm a cop.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
Right? Imagine that shit.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
Let's ask about the strife first. What's it all about?
You know, serious business.
Give us your
I'm
side.
sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Okay. I've come to Martinez investigating a murder.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
Almost impossible, 91% sure I'll never get it solved. Is that the actual odds? No idea what I'm doing, seems like a poor choice. Maybe you want to help me solve it by telling me who did it?
Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
Okay. Or at least he's very convincing. Bit short on cash right now. I don't suppose you can... Oh, wait. Wait. This isn't what I thought it was. This is how to get the body down, isn't it? Can you help?
Body still hanging in the tree? Hey, that's a rough pickle. Can't help you with that, sorry. I'm not really an admirer of dead bodies. Might be someone else from the Union can render assistance.
Does this mean you'll let me through the gate?
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's so simple, why did the scab leader warn you of the guards blocking the way?
That's simple, huh? Just walk in?
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in.
The infamous Measurehead.
Yeah, the
Infamous?
2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there.
Oh.
Walk right past him.
Is this world's equivalent of what is it that the Rock Samoan, is it? Is that what we're going for? Anyway, sure. Is it
Then
Samoa?
press the button to unlock the door. Then go past him again. And you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
Gotcha. I got some questions.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
I don't suppose you could spare any cash?
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
Let's grab it.
The coin lands into your hand as if it has always belonged.
Nat 12.
The swallow returns.
Appreciated.
Always glad to help out the RCM. Shame I can't do more. Things are meager at the moment due to... You know, the winter's fat is slowly running out and all. Still better than scabbing though.
Union has problems getting by?
Nothing to worry about really. The jam's a bit of a mess, cargo can't get in or out. The rationing is a bit stricter is all. Supplies should last the strike though.
Every little bit helps, you know.
I'm always glad to help out when possible. Not like these slithering scabs.
Alright, nice talk. Gotta go. Let's try going upstairs. We've got to get the body down somehow, and if we need the dock workers, we need the dock workers. case of a strike, press button behind guard. Hermetically sealed door. No way through. Can't talk to you? No? Hi, Measurehead. He's got a whole harem.
Your degeneracy.
Fair.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Let's get the measure of him.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology?
You're what now?
It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Ham Sandwich.
Ham Sandwich.
You are not in danger because you are not a threat to me.
There's worse things to be called. I quite like Ham Sandwich. I know you do as well, cheers. We're already on a winning cause here. Ham Sandwich lovers unite. I mean, we're not going to flex in front of this guy. That's just not going to work out for us, no matter how you look at it. And I'm not just going to stand here and argue the point. My body is unimportant. I'm with the police and we need to get into the harbour.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat.
Alcohol.
You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
You're right, I'm an alcoholic, and I need that dead body to no longer be in the tree.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here.
B4?
The influence of the Ham Sandwich race is waning.
The race stuff is unimportant here. I just need you to help me do my job, please.
Begging for help. Attempting to pass fear for cooperation. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race.
Uh-huh.
You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Khoikos. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture.
Wait, are we actually a different species of human here, or is this guy just taking some extreme views on race?
You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
How are we going to be superseded when you're surrounding yourselves with... Anyway.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach.
Yeah, no
It
shit.
must be the one that opens the door to the harbor. This man is not budging. Let's hope his superiors inside are more cooperative.
Come on, can you just move like 20 centimeters back?
It is my task to keep the degenerate drunks from entering the army.
There is no way I'm going to even try pushing him. Sure, you're right. Now, can you help me get the corpse down?
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war.
Uh-huh.
Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Hul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
Uh-huh.
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Meshahed's race theory. He would take you as one of his own.
Except, yeah, wouldn't that mean I have to become a Seminese supremacist myself?
Well, yes. Why? Don't you want to be a Seminese supremacist? So what if you're not Seminese? You can be anything.
That's not at all what it says there in the text, but interesting. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them and become an advanced racist. Is this pretending to subscribe to his advanced race theory? I'm not playing along with this shit. You serve the Union, don't you? Aren't they white? Let's poke here.
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
Yeah, but you still serve them. How does that factor into your life?
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital. Something your race, naivistic communists, never did.
Uh-huh.
Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
Communism's pretty cool.
Idiotic communism is the single greatest contributor to your race descent. Everywhere around you, the fruits of its failure to challenge the world order. Individualism, rock and roll music, sexually transmitted diseases.
Failed communism is responsible for rock and roll and STDs. Overall, is that a net positive? I don't know.
Above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Degenerate youth culture? Rock and roll music?
The fruits of its failure to challenge the world order. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. You are right. Got it from disco, actually? I don't know about that. I don't know about I'm a rock and roll star and a rebel. But youth culture doesn't affect my thinking.
Of course it does. You are a degenerate individualist and a rock and roll rebel. A pawn of international finance, just like the rest of your ham-colored race.
Now, I'd be upset about being called a gammon. But looking at Harry's face, he is a big old fucking gammon.
I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminese race.
Okay, I'll ask. Who are the Seminese?
The South Island race, haplogroup R4R.
Haplogroup.
We are the rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of ancient Pericarnassus and arrived here 4,000 years ago. Millennia before you.
Haplogroup is a genetic population group of people who share a common ancestor on the patriline or the matriline. Assign letters of the alphabet. Okay. Oh, interesting. It's basically your ancestral clan. Which I imagine a lot of people, particularly around Europe and Asia. There's a lot of Genghis Khan in there, right? Interesting. Wait, does that mean what's the Insulindian archipelago? Let's how much of this have I been assuming is fantasy and isn't? Insulindian? Insulindia Malay archipelago. The archipelago between Indochina and Australia. Huh. Pericarnassus? I'm curious now. Pericarnassus. What's Pericarnassus? Oh, that's just coming up with Disco Elysium, right. So we're mixing the real and the fake. That's fine.
We are the future. That is all you need to know.
So you're saying you were born and raised on the islands before you moved to Revachol?
I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulimbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Simonese women walk into the grey mass on Ile de Fantôme, waiting on immaculate conception from the Pay.
So you didn't come from the islands?
No. I have heard about it on the radio.
So you're not really Seminese, you're just from Revachol.
I'm from Couronne. And no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is central to the Simonese strategy. Spreading through its trade networks, our culture will dominate the world.
Uh-huh.
You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms with, and never getting that dead body down from the tree.
I kinda wanna... What do we think? Like... Fine, if we got to play along to get past him, let's try it. But I'm hoping this is lie and I'm not going to become... We'll see. I think I can at least unlearn stuff. Let's see what Kim thinks first, actually.
I don't think anything about this. We are wasting our time having this conversation.
Yeah, but how are we going to get past him?
Your pedomorphic friend is right. You should leave here with your tail between your legs, contemplating race extinction. I am an immovable obstacle.
What are the tattoos about? Let's go for it.
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
Welcome to Revachol. You hear him yell at a redhead woman visiting the fritter nearby. He must think redheads are immigrants.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
You sure I'm not craniometrically superior to you?
You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability.
Okay.
From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby. This is not craniometry, just an observation.
I mean, this guy's insane, but it's interesting.
It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Hul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and long arms relative to lower limbs. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of murderers and sailors from Sur-la-Clé and Vesper, and possibly even the degenerate sheep herders of Ubi.
Interesting. So one of my ancestors was Surliclef and the other Vesper.
Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivasholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of Al-Hul. That is the only reason you are here.
Do we do it? The trial? Kind of relevant right now, I guess. Oh, let's think how to word this. I'm glad the verdict was what it was. And also, I didn't catch much video at all of it, but what I did catch was the delivery of the jury's responses, their confirmations of the verdict. And there wasn't much hesitation there as well, which while not strictly relevant to a law case, it was nice to hear. What up, Distant? How's it going, dude? But it's one case, and while it does set precedent, it's far from winning any war or real change. And ultimately, and this is the bit that is super relevant with this game and this playthrough, I have, for a long time, even before reading more Marx, I definitely agreed that identity politics are a crutch and something used to divide us, point out our differences, which are important. It's not to be ignored. Different cultures, different races, people are different. Embrace it. But yeah, doing pretty good. What about? Yeah, I'm doing good. We're got our thinking hats on for this game. It's a good game though. Have you seen it? It's very interesting. I'm going to hope, because it's conceptualization, we just get to pretend and play along.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Measurehead, I'm new to this world. Help me understand its races. I need to know what kind of different races are there.
Do you?
This is for the thing, dude. Come on.
You are obviously a liberal, Sailite. Polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on?
But I will say cheers, but that I also say the same thing about the ideas of nations and borders. We've covered this. We've covered this. What the hell is this game? This is Disco Elysium. We're playing an alcoholic cop who is quite intellectual with moderate psychomotorics and weak as fuck. And this is kind of how we're built out. We specialize in rhetoric and perception. We're very, very perceptive. And we're kind of trying to get past the Seminese race supremacist. Anyway, educate us on Type A, the heroic races.
Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding.
I mean, you can comment, cheers, as long as any comments are respectful as always. It's just a case of ultimately, I have my opinions and I am willing to reassess them, but it's unlikely to happen right now. Particularly certain things, obviously, I'm more staunch in my belief. I mean, always got to be willing to question your beliefs. But it's not that I haven't done so. Anyway, the inbreeding, huh?
A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats.
We on about the Dutch? Wait, who exactly are the Maun?
You know them by the names of their nation states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Maun.
Exactly distant and pretty much what stops us getting there is it's not even the 1%, it's like the fucking 0.1% at this point, with just draconic amounts of wealth and therefore power just manipulating en masse. And it's terrifyingly efficient. Cannot believe what's happening with Dogecoin. Oh, is it spiking again? I think I saw it trending. Which is why, Distant, I am a big fan of things like local projects and mutual funds, because you start building the community small and expand it outwards. It's about the collective consciousness. Yeah.
Mahoon is a derogative term for first world people of Gotwaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Uhu, are much more lactose intolerant.
But yeah, this check is our internal knowledge. It's quite interesting. I do love having this encyclopedic knowledge available.
In some municipalities of Oranje, people do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange, and even yellow tassels have also been seen on hats.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding
Some wild
has
shit.
led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
It's maybe one of those nonsense things I've picked up and never really checked. But I'm sure I recall hearing that, like, everybody past a certain age has at least some level of lactose intolerance. It's just we've kind of gotten used to it culturally. From the Middle East, the amount of hatred people have towards one another in your region is fucking disgusting. Lost all faith in people. I could definitely empathize with that. I do always at least try, and obviously some days it's harder than others, but I try and have faith with people on at least an individual basis. An individual can be reasoned with some of the time. Massive individuals can almost never be reasoned with. Just realised the encyclopedia portrait is not a minotaur with horn. No, it's not a man behind a book either, I don't think. It's the book is coming out of the head as the mind expanding and flowing outwards. Let's just have a check. Yeah. He's not behind it. That's the brain. Like, it's even got kind of a brain texture to the thoughts expanding out of it. It's essentially galaxy brain. No smoothness there.
Colourful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too.
Okay, got it. Who are Type A then, in your view?
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have Type A race propensities.
I will say, though, I feel like we're building a rapport here with the guy, even though he is horrific. We're building the rapport, so maybe we're gonna be able to get past him. We might be closer to talking our way around, which is pretty much how I'm built and how I like to play games like this.
The other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem. Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into
Sebum.
their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum.
Is he going on about Mexicans? It sounds like a Mexican stereotype. Mariachi bands, mincemeat based stuff, like you got your burritos and whatnot. Chili. And who are the Semines and Areopagites in this?
As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Semines and the Areopagites are on the ascent.
What's the difference between them?
The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Semines are powerful, mesomorphic.
He's enjoying himself here, isn't he?
Progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls.
He falls silent, contemplating the beauty and the mystery. Yeah. We're blowing smoke up his ass here, and he's full on sniffing his own farts. I think we might be able to get past.
The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more Type A races in the world.
Nature was not capable of more.
Okay, I guess we've got to ask for more Type Bs then.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Koikos and the Vacholier, they are mud-colored people.
Mud-colored?
To an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich.
I'm a ham sandwich.
Their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct muddy color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, sweaty, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination.
Yeah, okay.
Bad people have undergone for drinking alcohol and smoking the degenerate tobacco and for eating potato.
Potato.
The Khoikhoi, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with potat. The only thing they like more is dividing into
Do like
microscopic
potato, though.
states, like political
Like,
amoeba.
you can do something with potato to go with pretty much anything. See much potato in the Middle East, distant? Did run that through my head first. And I hope it doesn't come across as ignorant, maybe as it sounds. I'm genuinely curious. Middle Eastern culture isn't something I'm overly familiar with. Like, a lot of world politics, maybe, even they're not very deep. But regional culture. And I should know more. One of my eldest niece, her father is, or was, however you want to look at it, an Iraqi Kurd. Which I don't know if that means Kurdistan or Iraq. Anyway. Remember some right-wingers in the US refusing to wear a mask just out of spite towards the left. I mean, the spite crowd is always an easy pull. There's a lot of people that'll do anything across a lot of Western politics just to own the libs. Anyway.
Wouldn't he be one for ethno-states?
I mean, here's a classic example. I think I liked the tweet. Let me go have a look. Did I... If I didn't retweet it, I'll fucking retweet it. How do I find this shit? Not that. Yeah, it was fucking Sajid Javid. Who, was it even... It's not even a year, maybe 6 months ago, slating Black Lives Matter, and then the verdict fucking comes in. He's like, justice, Black Lives Matter, rest in peace. It's like, you fucking piece of shit. I think potatoes are grown locally. Oh, fair enough. I do remember hearing that a lot more fruit and veg than we think in Europe actually originates from the Middle East. Apples, for instance. A lot of people think apples are a very British thing. They're Middle Eastern. Horses, I think, all originated from the Middle East. Yeah. And, of course, a numeric system. I forget the term for it. Possibly also our letters? I may be wrong there. No. Maybe not. But numbers. Anyway, wouldn't he be for ethno-states? Yeah, you don't like ethno-states?
They are microscopic. The Semeno-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust, uninterrupted. From Holy Semenine to the Boreal Plateau of Katla. Its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Semenese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature, not the base inner spoilage called demos.
And the Vacholier you mentioned?
The Vacholians, halfway between Type A and the Racial called Ron. Two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
Go away, stupid political thoughts. We're going to ignore the timeline on that, I think. I've heard about this revolution. Mistakes were made, but it was the right stuff. You're wrong about it.
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad, in Zara's written potato carts. It is literally an illness. A prion disease that leaves the parietal and frontal lobe ridden with holes. A soft, sponge-like mass of dementia, hallucination, and paranoia. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from the Khoico to the Occidentals. But not sexually. Probably through trade routes and potate acid, the prime component of the potato plant.
He's weird because he sounds well-spoken and intelligent, but he's also saying some really dumb shit. Pass through the potato acid, though. Alright.
Of Tibet mediocrity.
What about the Val C2F race cauldron of pederasty? Pederasty. There. Please.
Tips the F are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations.
Edward.
They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your
Or chimeras.
morbid interest in them worries me.
Yeah, it's better not go into it.
It would be cruel to entertain ourselves with their deformities. Were there any able-bodied races you needed education on?
Now that we've been through them all, do I understand advanced race theory?
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it.
One or two. I'm worried one will lock me out of it. Let's see. Will he help me get that body down if I do? Let's ask it.
We will see.
Access to the Union is important for our investigation, but there may be another way in, without becoming a race theoretician.
Am I mildly worried he might take it seriously? The lieutenant thinks. Yes, I am, he concludes. I am worried.
Yeah, I can understand him being concerned about this. But if it's the easiest way in... Do we back off? I don't particularly want to keep going down the racial theory hole, but... You're right. Well, that was helpful. That's why I didn't click the choice picker. Wait, does it not give you the full 15 seconds? Did it let me do it again? Oh, I can just do it again, apparently. Right. Anyway. I guess it assumes you have your answer ready and picked. Before I click it. Right. Doesn't give you time to ponder it. Fine. Alright, sure.
You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vasholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease?
Alright. God. Fortunate's hatching from some kind of scheme. We still haven't internalized it. And they're all just getting, like, super moist over this guy. Sure. Predictable. Oh. Can I get there? No. It does look like there might be a back way. I mean, there must be something, some way of getting up there. How do I... Got any ideas, Kim?
Yes?
Nothing new, alright. Anything new?
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you?
Nope, nothing. Ooh, what's over there? Free cash? Give me the cash. Maybe in this diner? Oh, not a diner. Some kind of corner shop. Melancholy pop song. No lyrics though, so that can't be the one for the karaoke.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back.
I don't care about the raincoat. Space helmet. No, some kind of visor with some crown nonsense on it. God knows.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles,
Ah.
sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
I don't think I was able to have a bath though.
Their logo is the bloodless rose, pure white, untouched by harm.
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
That is the most natural line read, particularly for a British accent, like a real genuine British accent I've heard in a long time. Is it just me, or did that sound like I was literally just listening to some bored-ass woman serving in a shop? Like, holy shit. That hit. In a really weird way for such a throwaway little... Huh. Interesting. It's voiceover, right? Who is Saint Baptiste?
Saint Baptiste.
Saint
You
Baptiste,
know.
sorry.
The pharmaceuticals company. Saint Baptiste Pharmaceuticals. The one that sells meds out of Saint Baptiste. That one. There.
She is right. Saint Baptiste, the company, derives its name from Saint Baptiste, the city. Itself so named because that's what it is. A rare case where that really is the full etymological history. As far as almost anyone knows, at least.
What do these do? No, we don't need to ask that. Alright. Let's not annoy her with dumb questions. Wait, can I withdraw money?
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Wait, what's this? Auto drug machine? Vending machine?
Hmm? Oh, that's the tear machine.
Yes, but what is it?
It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever, and put it in the machine, then it gives you money.
Huh, hang on. Let's load that up. What is stealing focus this time? Because that just happened in this, so it's not just pillars. Start that and run it in the background. Wait, why is that not? Oh, that crashed. Interesting. Hold up. Shit. We lost connection? No? I'm still streaming. So why doesn't that... Give me a second. Because if something is playing around and stealing window focus again. Task manager. Name. Looking for anything with the word Epson again. Scanner service. Yeah, you can fuck off. That might be it. Anything else dodgy looking? Oh, fuck's sake. Ever tempted to just throw out every hard drive you have just in case and just start everything over from scratch? Okay. Didn't realize it was that time already. Have a good one, dude. Take care. Don't work too hard. Maybe see... actually, I think I'm playing Magic this evening instead of tomorrow evening. So, catch you tomorrow. Have a good one. Okay, how do I... So... Yeah, if we find bottles or recycling, we put it in there and get money. How do I pick it up?
You need a bag, I guess. We used to have some, but we gave them all out, so...
Need a bag.
Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are some out there. Somewhere.
Alright. Roses and tulips. Okay. What are we looking at here? Jump jams. Most able-bodied men.
Welcome to Revachol.
Addressed to the lieutenant. Wait. Why are you addressing my partner like that?
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
I could kind of go with either of these, but you tell him.
It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
What he means is, fixation on the Revacholian nation makes it harder for Revachol to actually attain self-determination.
He is right. You're undermining the best shot at real self-determination.
Oh, come on, man. I just said, welcome to Rivachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
Is it?
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Fucking A, Kim. I've got your back.
You two make a cute couple. You know that?
Can I just flip him off?
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Now that's settled, we have a couple of questions.
Whatever you say, officers.
He smells of heavy motor oils, and his breath of high tar content cigarettes, probably Astra Whites.
What are you hauling?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
What were you picking up?
Apples.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Apples?
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions?
Uh-huh. What was the argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
So you're just a racist. Got it.
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books, huh? The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it.
Uh-huh.
People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
Race is a simplistic means of social classification based on easily observed attributes, hunches, and pseudoscience.
Yeah. I can really tell you're a prime example of superior design.
Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe? Huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources.
And the problem with that is...
The problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruders species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory.
Cultural victory? What is this then?
We'll stay quiet.
It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring.
Yeah, I'm not down with this. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Don't push your luck, runt.
Uh-huh. Oh, we did a loop. Okay, well, we still didn't get the body down, did we? We didn't go this way, though. Earthquake damage, alright. Worn out fountain. Macaroni stamped humanitarian aid. Huh.
You see two lowly, defeated speakers Thralls, slaves basically, perched atop them like conquerors surveying the land. A pair of found, durable wear sneakers, Ultra Series.
I can see you've a taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
Speaking of luxury, you should go over and ask about paying for those sneakers with your net worth.
Let's look at them.
A pair of found Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway, a jet black upper, and a silver-lined midsole.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest found sneakers. Super rare, super fine, super cool. Only 50 real.
He thinks I have 50 real.
Only? That's madness. Found Ultra. Wear the future. You remember the slogan from some magazine?
Speakers more interesting than sneakers.
These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable found Ultras atop them. A small heat emboss on the veneer reads, Solidarity Aid from the People's Republic of Samara. The speakers themselves don't seem to display any magical qualities.
Solidarity aid. We know you're struggling. Have some speakers?
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
But what about the speakers? Doesn't anyone want those? Pat the speakers. Pat.
No, don't pity them, officer. These are old Samaran garbage. Don't even look at them. Check out these super cool, fun Ultras instead.
Samaran trash. That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
I don't want to buy the speakers either.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here.
Is it? What's so cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool. The customers are cool. The place is cool. And one more thing, officer. You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang.
Anyway, whether I'm cool is unimportant. I have police questions for you.
You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Strictly business. Maybe I can interest you in some premium menswear instead.
Packages you're selling here have humanitarian aid written on them. What's that about?
You mean these delicious pre-packaged shelf-stable meal kits? Really easy to cook, no hassle, really cheap too. Buy some, try them out.
No hassle. There's a little of a hassle here, it appears. A moral hassle.
Doesn't that beat the idea of humanitarian aid? It's supposed to be free. That's what makes it humanitarian.
It is. Practically free. Yours for 5 cents a piece. Rock that tuna. Why not some macaroni too?
Don't play games with me, Hawker. What's going on?
No problem here, officer. I get all this from one of my suppliers. An extremely reputable guy.
Uh-huh.
Wait. Humanex. Humanitarian aid.
Does your supplier drive that Humanox lorry over there?
What?
Yeah, he's taking it from the lorry.
A convincing performance. Bravo.
Look, officer. I'm just a retailer. You'd have to talk to my supplier if you got questions about the supply chain. That's how the game works.
The game, huh?
Interesting.
We'll need more if we're going to pin this one down, he thinks. Good questions, though. Sharp eyes, officer. It's for show, my liege. He knows you need more than this to bust this guy. Later, perhaps.
Kind of stuff are you selling?
Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom.
Where'd you get those comfy pants?
I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, wholesalers, all extremely cool and above board.
Do you have a permit?
Good joke, officer. Here we don't have permits, just economic freedom. Take a look around.
Sure.
You glance around the decrepit buildings, the miserable weather, the sidewalks strewn with sunflower seeds and a dust-choked air.
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom.
Is this true, Kim?
It is, yes. Anyone can set up their shop whenever they feel like it.
Ah, cool.
That's right. No permits, no bureaucracy. That's why this city and its law officials are so cool.
No permits, cool.
Hyper cool.
Something else.
Anything for you.
Where are you from, Sileng?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All Revachol.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
You're from the Apricot Suzerainty, right?
Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur.
Shit. Shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say that you're from Seaguy.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism. But the Apricot Suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left.
Kind of want to go with 3. I don't know why I'm talking about this. It's some kind of mind reaction. Let's poke in, though, for the history. Isn't it only a shithole because of Revachol?
If you say so, officer. I don't worry too much about politics. I'm an entrepreneur, you know. Whatever's good for business is good for me.
Accidental racism seeping out already. Shit. Right, persuade him to give you some money.
Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy
Wait,
pants too.
did I pick the wrong thing? I picked the wrong thing. Give me money. Humanitarian aid macaronis. Oh, we got a bonus.
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Hey, you seem like a really successful entrepreneur. Would you like to support a member of the local police force?
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
Think of it as an investment.
An investment? What kind of investment?
It's an investment in me, a highly experimental human being. My risk-reward ratio is insane.
I guess it can't be any riskier than speculating in exotic derivatives. How much are we talking about here?
10 real.
10 real is a bargain for that kind of investment. You got it, my man.
$1 million seemed like a bit of a push. Alright, we'll look around. Good food gift from the people of Messina. Yeah, more humanitarian aid, huh? Company that controls the drawbridge. Didn't give me anything. Alright. But if I had to guess, I'd say it's manhole cover. Wait, what did I miss? I need a bag, is what I need.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box. A variety of shapes and colors.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
I'm good.
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them with net worth. Go over and ask him.
Nah. Anything? No? Oh, we can go further around, though. Is this a dead end? Yeah. Waterlock out of order. Butter sign down. Can I cross there? Maybe not.
G'day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
There we go. What are you doing here?
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock.
Oof.
I'm keeping him company and eating his salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer?
Do you know what caused this wreckage?
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol.
The words daredevil driver sound ominous to you.
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
Can I have some of that salami?
Sure thing.
Oh, thank you.
It is salty, it is savory, it is chewy. The hangover only makes the salami more tasty.
Want some too, officer?
Why not?
Hey, didn't think you'd be down for it. Do you know what's further down the coast?
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Bombed out, huh? Alright.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly lines mar the bright countenance of the blonde boy depicted.
Let's work out what
Whatever
happened.
it is, the boy on the billboard seems very happy about it. Goat milk butter. The Samaran terrain makes it easier to raise goats than cows, and the local goat farmers produce high-quality meat and dairy staples that add variety to other nations' diets. It's an acquired taste.
Oh, I asked what Samaran butter was. Derp. Ominous daredevil feeling. Alright.
Judging by the size of the impact and the parallel lines of burnt rubber,
Oh, shit.
the cause was probably a motor vehicle.
This is the one that was moving around by the alley, I guess. Sped up and jumped. Wow, what a ballsy move.
These look like the same tire tracks I saw earlier, in front of the whirling rags.
Yeah, look at the crater.
Side slip marks indicated that the vehicle was traveling up the crater at 35 kilometers an hour.
The roof?
The black marks on the roof indicate that the vehicle vaulted from the crater to the roof of the shack.
Sloping panel.
The panel served as a takeoff ramp.
Sure did. Broken posts.
The vehicle soared through the air, hitting the billboard and upsetting the posts. Then it continued its flight, taking the billboard with it.
And the sign?
The sign broke the vehicle's fall into the canal.
Oh, that was handy for it.
The Salmon and Butter billboard still looks freshly painted, suggesting it took the plunge recently.
How recently?
Within the past 72 hours.
3 days, got it. It's longer than the body's been there. Or been dead. Yeah, it's been there like a week, right? What about the other side of the bank?
Still speeding, the vehicle made a loop and vanished into the fog along the coast.
What was the model?
There are two good candidates, the Caprice 40 and the Linéaire G22.
Why the Capri?
It's about the right size, and the tire marks look like they came from the skinny tires frequently found on that motor carriage. The Caprice 40 is a very popular model, with bank clerks, topping pie delivery drivers, secondary school
Topping
teachers,
pie?
cops, strippers dressed as cops, undressed strippers.
Lots of strippers, alright. What about the Linnea?
Very sturdy but light motor carriage. More likely than most to survive that jump.
I'm going to bank on the Linnea.
The Linéaire G22 is not a particularly popular model due to its peculiar proportions, which the manufacturer's design team probably thought about for too long.
What now?
You'd have to follow the tracks to be sure.
Alright.
The lieutenant looks on, waiting for you to wrap up your analysis.
Talky talk?
Any theories about what happened here?
Top shelf shenanigans. Looks like someone was in a real hurry.
What kind of car do you think it was?
I believe it was a Linnea. It survived well, is the main thing. Otherwise, it might have just, like, clonked down somewhere amongst that.
That's quite likely, from what I can tell.
I have no idea who could it have been.
We're not traffic cops. Should we get back to the murder?
We should bring this driver to justice.
If we must.
I'm not expecting him to get far with this, the lieutenant consoles himself.
Alright, but maybe.
G'day to you, officers.
Never mind. Nothing new. Roy's pawn shop. Good place for somebody to have tried to fence goods. Or succeeded. Film projector. A bust. Let's just go around the room.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Win her back?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine.
Let's try that.
Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most of them are just broken toys.
Whatever. Don't want to win her back.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well loved and well traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Let's have a look. Tippy toes.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved.
Oh, I just noticed the guy in the booth. Oh my god.
This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Yeah, what I really want to know is, could this come in handy in my police work?
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
I guess we were meant to talk to Roy before this.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Look at it.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
Nope. Military wear, okay. Let's talk to Matey.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Have you had any trouble lately?
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law enforcement.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Oh, tempting. Typical vacuous consumerist objects. Yeah, gonna do it.
It keeps me entertained.
Yeah, we're not gonna check that. It's a silent check. He won't know, will he? Let's try.
Okay, he definitely is high. Whatever it is, you've probably done it, and many other things besides. But you can't cut through the jumble of sensations to get to the answer. Looking at his wares, talking to him, that might give you more clues.
Maybe he has a gun, yeah. Do you know anything about the traffic menace on the loose?
Traffic? I'm sorry, officer, but I don't drive.
But didn't you hear it when the traffic menace drove over your roof?
Now that I think about it, I do remember hearing a thunderous noise the other night. Some kind of powerful electric vortex hitting the shop, and then moving on.
That sure narrows down our list of suspects.
Does that mean you don't have any idea who the driver was?
He shakes his head, slowly.
You might be able to aid our investigation?
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
Know anything about the recent hanging?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
He doesn't know anything.
Could you help? Any chance you could help me get a corpse out of a tree?
The corpse behind the hostel, I assume. I don't have a truck with a mounted platform or anything of that sort.
That's an idea.
Ask around the harbour. There might be some workers there who'd be willing to help.
Alright.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colours.
I'll ask, just on the... It might be here for all I know. Someone might have handed it in here. Do you happen to have any guns like the ones carried by cops?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Shit.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
I sold you my gun?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions, the unhealthy kind.
The what now? Was the buyer a policeman too?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her.
Not Kuro's sister, is it?
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
I don't like it either. What if she intends to commit a crime and blame it on the citizens' militia?
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
Any idea where I can find this buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea
I
where
need
she
snack.
was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Of course.
I don't think I'm really worried about saying weird things so far. Thank you, game. Frazzles. Maybe these guys saw something. Are they playing bowls? Maybe.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl. See? Your munching and complaining have ruined my concentration.
Ah, mon Dieu. The pain in my back is unbearable. I can't even say if it's in my back or hip anymore. Feels like it's in both.
I hope you pass out from it, you goddamn jellyfish. Men like you are the reason this nation is sinking.
Trying to throw something as close to a predetermined point as possible. Measuring. This must be the age-old game of petanque.
Bowls per tank. Near enough. -1 for knowing the game is petanque. Yeah, we're not going to get involved in the game.
You're such a wuss.
Sure, officer. I am René Arnaud, and my specially abled partner here is Gaston Martin. How can we help you?
I'm starving. I want to go long. Well, longer at least. Giggity. Also, that's what she said. Do you know anything about the man hanged in the backyard? Wait. We'll start here. Let's not go straight into the murder. You seem to be playing in a crater.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
Excuse me. Has there been an earthquake here?
No. It was left by heavy artillery fire.
But why?
Why what?
Why was heavy artillery used?
Because that's what happens when communists hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse.
You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home.
Who are they're the communists, right?
Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality.
Did you use artillery fire against them?
Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs.
What?
We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
Suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. What would that even achieve?
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Why shell them here in Martinez?
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first.
The beachhead?
Yes. The military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol.
Okay.
Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta.
Look to the north. Yeah, we'll go with that.
This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Is that why everything's so bombed out?
Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered.
Gaston
Of course, they still all influence.
seems to be on the left, and yeah, René on the right, I guess.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
That's how it should be. Soft socialists paving the way for the hard working class to take over. 2. Foreign powers cleaned up our mess and now they rule us. This coalition seems quite capable, actually. 4. Commies just don't understand how money works. 5. Nothing I don't think, I just do. Yeah, we'll go with this. At the top.
Preposterous! Surely you don't mean it.
Achievement
Sorry it had to be them.
for biggest communism builder.
Fighting those commie hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking my piss in the mountains. I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisel had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that
Wait,
is not the case.
Guillaume Le Millon?
Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted.
Is it?
This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
Who is this free soul?
Damn Frisel. He was the king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. He died in the hands of the hoi polloi, in a very public execution.
Hoi polloi.
He slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting they left the king to the mob.
You mentioned Guillaume?
A true king in both blood and mind, led Revachol before Frisel. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him into exile.
Damn commies.
Some manner of self-deceit is present in his thinking. Sounds like this Guillaume abandoned him, and he doesn't want to admit it.
Right, okay. What exactly is a suzerain?
The suzerain is the king. Has everyone forgotten already? They forgotten already. It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
It's a white check. What is it about this old soldier that makes him stand so proud?
All you observe is a veteran refusing to let go of the past and his old uniform. This is not uncommon.
Oh well, we tried.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in service of Frissel I, Guillaume le Lion, and the valiant King Philip V before him.
Don't you mean Frissel the Fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown. But he was our clown, ours to ridicule and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You will get to it. Don't worry.
Okay, do you know anything about the man hanged in the backyard of Whirlingham Rags?
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely.
And most of the locals?
In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them?
But you don't have a problem with cops.
Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
Is that what they do?
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
Do I go for the fuck it? It's easy bait, but fuck it. What about police women?
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties.
There are no duties RCM women couldn't carry out.
But you must agree that nature, in her infinite wisdom, has made
Right,
men
he's
more fit
sexist.
to
Got
perform
it.
certain, more challenging tasks, don't you, officer?
No, I don't think there's any evolutionary inequality at play here.
Really, officer. Match an average woman against an average man in a dark alley and see who comes out on top. Gender equality is a very noble, very modern idea. But in real life, primal roles prevail. But I do not wish to discuss this matter further.
Alright. Can't try the locked one again. Unless we talk to his friend, maybe?
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
Was it a ham sandwich? Hope so.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat arse of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
What an asshole.
René, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
We're not going to ask for a bite of his sandwich. What are the rules of this game?
Oh, the goal is to throw your bull. As close to the cochonnet as you can.
Like that, I guess?
That's the cochonnet.
Tell me more.
Well, first, you draw a circle about a half a meter in diameter.
I don't see one.
We made ours out of rope.
Still don't see it.
Then, the order of play is determined by a coin toss. You win it. You get to throw the cochonnet. Then, the players aim to throw their bulls as close to the cochonnet as possible. They must stay in the circle and keep both feet planted.
Alright, I think I get it.
You'll put that knowledge to good use in 50 years. I'm sure of that, officer.
I don't like where this is going, officer. Don't you think we should do something else now?
No, I want to talk to him. It won't be about Patank, I swear.
Hurry up, then.
Do you know anything about the dead man?
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really.
Really? You know absolutely nothing.
No, officers, I'm sorry. and I really would like to assist. You are both good guys. I can see that.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the ghost caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
He means caviar socialists.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that.
Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but there's something off here.
Sounds a bit like you're holding back.
I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Evrard.
And who is this Evrard?
Evrard Clare. Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
Interesting.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history, only heard about it years later, when it had already moved on. You don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. There he stands, proud, rigid and alone, like a cracking marble statue.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
Yeah, maybe.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Mm-hmm. I can tell. Are you a union member?
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Evrard, Edgar, and the older debarders all know me.
In many ways?
Oh, yes.
So you're not an actual member?
Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
Oh, yeah?
So that's what it was before. Him hiding something. He tries to make it look like he's a big deal in the Union, and now the illusion is disintegrating before your
Right.
and Renee's eyes. He doesn't know anything, because no one tells him anything. He's an outsider.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Weservein. Turns to where the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate the socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence. Never committing to anything. Pick a damn side.
I agree. Fucking centrists. Alright. What are little things you do for Evrard?
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say.
What kind of things do you write?
Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Evrard and I had these long talks where...
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
We don't need to ask that question. Alright.
No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
Bye for now. Wait. Stuff to look at. Something down there. Like what? Doesn't work. Look about Patty. Government reads your mind using radio tech. Yeah, there we go. Man with flames. Rose pistol and a half-naked dame. Is there anything else back up this way? Oh, we're back to the alley. Oh, shit. Didn't realize how close we were, how small this area is, but it seems large. She may have seen something.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open.
Very well spoken. Hello.
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
What kind of store is this?
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
Don't be ridiculous. I know all these things. Come on.
You're fooling nobody.
I failed the encyclopedia? Don't you sass me.
Sir, are you okay? You've been standing here silently for a while now.
Damn it. Is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
What's your name?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
And you're standing out here in the cold because...
I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Should have a word with the store owner, good trooper. I could help by brutally dismantling the free market. Should have a word with the store owner, maybe?
Oh, no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm.
Yeah, shouldn't you be at school or something?
I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
Isn't going to school more important than this?
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
There is stress and unease behind these words. She's reciting etiquette.
Yeah, she is. How's the business going?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Wait. How do I go to the other ones? Or whatever.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
Cursed? How?
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go...
Bankrupt? We'll say nothing.
Well, they run out of money and have to stop doing business.
I don't think curses are real.
They shouldn't be, but they seem real. Anyhow, they say that these grounds are doomed for businesses.
There must be an economic reason for this.
One could say that entire economies are doomed as they tend to crash every once in a while. It's regular trading and selling of things doesn't work out for most people. They're not doomed, but your mother should learn from their mistakes.
Of course, sir.
Okay, bye.
Mazovian Socioeconomics. 0.000% of communism has been built. Evil, child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmezov fucked him over, personally, with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
-1 visual calculus, -1 authority. Okay. Right. Problem and solution. Why does it go back there when I go for the problem? Wait, white morning we can internalize? Oh, we got a few of these. -1 authority. You see yourself from above, passed out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Wait. What's white morning? What is it? What are we on about here? What am I about to internalize? Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. We might leave it. Can we get any info from her? Let's try.
Hello again, sir.
Nope. But this is right next to the alley, so maybe they saw or heard something? Maybe. We don't need to look around. We'll talk to you.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
Before we go on, you seem to be well off enough. Can you give me some money? I feel like there won't be an opportune moment to ask later.
Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavor.
Oh, psychic, huh?
One has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent.
Uh-huh.
Certainly there are good things to be said about dependence.
Oh, here we go. It would forge ties between us working people. Good practice for fighting our common enemy.
Now, hey there. Sounds like someone isn't taking responsibility for the energy they bring into this space. Fighting enemy. My philosophy is everyone just getting along.
Okay. Yeah, I see you. Alright, so are you the owner?
I am. The proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Your daughter is the one standing outside, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
I'm not going to grade a fucking human being.
Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer.
Do you now? Fine, 10.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
Ooh, fuck it. I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor.
You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening.
Depends. How much do you pay the kid?
Good, sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her, as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there.
Uh-huh.
Such criminal behavior would not happen in more developed countries.
In some more developed countries, this sort of thing is 2 felonies. Child labor and slavery.
Those countries will realize they've raised a lazy and spoiled generation.
Uh-huh.
Are we done with the jokes now?
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
Fine.
The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
The girl outside mentioned a curse?
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity.
Uh-huh.
My business is thriving, sir.
Is it now?
What in God's name is she talking about?
Alright, ladies. She's just a walking pile of nonsense. Ah, white skills can be retried by increasing the skill rank. At least one. What was the thought? No, it's gone. We don't want to talk to Kuno. We just don't. Like the bottles. Yeah, I have no bag though.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
What's it even doing here?
There was a revitalization project in 49. A design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick.
What happened?
They got as far as the street lamps and the statue on that intersection. Then something went sour. I suspect that something was Everard Clare, the union leader. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here.
This is very much going beyond our remit here. We'll just...
The lieutenant adjusts his collar. It's frisky outside.
Alright.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Pat it.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Alright. Enough of that. Hi, dude. Oh. Why can I not see this thing? There we go. Seabirds, got it. Got the bag. We got a bag. Bullet holes in the wall. Just trying to work out if that's an anarchist symbol. Looks a lot like it, at least. Money. Can I not search it now? Really? I missed my chance because I have no bag. Or do I have to put the bag in my hand? Tools. Held. Ah. Still no? There we go. Oh, what was that? Oh, no, we checked that. Oh, this place is going? Cormorant. Painted over?
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Why am I looking at this?
You have no clue. It's just a wall.
Okay. Wait, what's that about? Magnesium.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Tempting.
Logic error. She is not sleeping right now.
Also true.
Pigs come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out.
Are you sleeping right now?
Don't get fucking clever with me, pig. You think you're so clever.
Compared to you, fucking genius. Garden hose. Balcony with a view. Yeah, we got to get up there. Bullet holes. Orange bum hat. For going hobo cop, I guess? Water collector? Alright. Do we take a look? Sus. Alright, let's try and get upstairs to find his smoker. Oh. Nope. Must be another way, huh? Not those ways. Oh, I didn't put the gloves on. Ah, we'll put them on for taking the stuff down. Reaction speed minus rhetoric. Locked. Maybe she spilled the paint. Maybe she has the gun. Oh, bottles.
Hey, up here, piggo.
It's her. She has the gun. She's going to try and extort me for it too. I can feel it. Go up in a minute. Yoink. Getting some good goodies. Docking for residents, alright. Your room isn't much bigger than this sloop. Worth more than I'll ever earn in all of my life. Yeah, ain't that the truth?
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets.
Good afternoon, officers.
Sorry.
I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
What gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Right.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
Don't shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
They do.
She is unfazed by your rudeness, probably chalking it up to local custom.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. The lieutenant is hatching some scheme.
Oh, yeah?
He's trying to signal something. He wants you to play up your condition.
Oh, yeah?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it?
Why not?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
What nice fabrics.
Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat. A breeze carries with it the faint scent of juniper and oranges, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible, within reason.
Yeah, so?
Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too...
I'm a goddamn working man. I'm not ashamed to ask this leech for some dough.
You think your little communism protects you from this feeling? No. The more demeaning it is to grovel at her feet.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Volition. Whoa. Can I have some money?
Voila, you're doing it.
You seem rich. Oh, how do we want to... Help me, I'm poor. I need money to keep living.
Ah, yes, of course. I'm sad to hear that. How much do you need?
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
I need 100 real.
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
Blagged it.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you.
We can pay our hostel bill.
To the touch.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
Funny that you're worried about this and not your ruthless exploitation of the entire human race.
You're right, man, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries?
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Caillou? I thought we were in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Before you do, it would be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Okay, but what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
What now?
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I thought he wanted us to lean into being an idiot.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
Let's talk about the economics of this boat you're on.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Precise Amundo. Class wartime, baby.
Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator?
You doubting me?
Then what does that say? Does it say docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A? 33A? This old proletarian haunt here. As I said, plenty of people drive boats of all social strata.
Fire back, yeah.
Your synapses flesh.
This house was built before the revolution.
Okay, it is anti-centennial.
People who live there now lead a different lifestyle, if you know what I mean.
I assure you, they drove quite a hard bargain for this space. But you're right. I am a bourgeois woman, and this is my fast, lightweight, interminably bourgeois boat.
There is no shame in her voice. A touch of sadness, yes, but no shame.
Alright, I think we got the boat thing.
Good.
Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
Wow.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
And where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormentang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
Probably helps to start out with the royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed or been absorbed. To survive, wild pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
What does such a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
You don't keep it moving, the workers do. The company is nothing without them.
We built this district.
We. There it is. She owns up to it.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions.
Not
the
they,
plazas,
we.
Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP. Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees. A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
Uh-huh.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
What can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
What is your role precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
Mm-hmm.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Yeah, not that. How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike?
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan.
The horror.
This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to, how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Not cool.
Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Right. What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
I like it.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy.
Bottom one's tempting, just for the funs of it. How are we gonna feel about democracy? Oh my god, alright. Let's lean into it. Not hard communist enough for me.
Personally, I agree. It lacks the pizazzo of every worker a member of the board.
What exactly do they mean, though? What's the demand? I mean, it sounds pretty self-explanatory, but...
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything, really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild
How you
Pines
doing?
Group.
An opening gambit, surely.
What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous
About
situation
that.
if there ever was one.
About that.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
It does. Scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
It is. Alright, tell me about Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
She's being sarcastic. Don't take her performance literally.
Yeah, that's not what you really think, right?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Stay silent again.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there's two of him?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
Wait, he's not putting on a lazy eye and pretending to have a twin, is he?
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself, outside the brothers?
The Debardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not
Hold
have
up.
been easy to establish under the Emergency Act. But they did it. I can respect that.
Right.
Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Debardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Debardeurs Union is...
It's not an effective advocate for the right of local working men. It does sound kind of leechy.
Indeed, and a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers.
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I don't really watch trailers generally, to be honest. One more thing. You said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Alright, let's move on.
Of course. How else can I help?
What can you tell me about this lynching, then?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Secret task.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves.
I don't have a badge number.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to that.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
He wanted me to lean into it, right? How much did he want me to lean into it? Oh, fuck. Because I kind of want to blag it and just be like, yeah? Do I want to admit the heavy drinking? What's worse, admitting being an alcoholic or having no memory? Go with this. I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. This world, this city, nothing.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Let's try. How do we get out of this?
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuates.
Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Like what?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
Mm-hmm.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge, though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Maybe not.
Detective,
we can hope.
A word in private before we continue.
Yeah, sure. Excuse us.
Honestly, I was expecting you
Oh.
to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
I accidentally double tapped A there. That sucks. Hmm. So we're henchmen now?
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation. Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
I'm sorry, I'll handle it. I'll handle it.
I'm sure you will, Detective.
The company must also have more ears on the ground.
I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She's a professional.
We could find my badge.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
You could request a new one from the station, but that would literally take months.
Right, okay. Alright.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Do you know something about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
How? Why? How was you looking at the photo tied to the lynching?
Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
Okay.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality?
Yes, reality is your side case.
Uh-huh.
An experimental side case.
I'm conducting a personal investigation into the world I find myself in.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
My theory is that this inquiry into the nature of reality will ultimately converge with our murder investigation. They are really one and the same.
Are they now?
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then. Go ahead. Ask.
Get a reality lowdown, alright.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Begin with the first. Alright, where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
Oh, I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
Should I spend this point? I probably should, right? I do like having the visual calculus. But... where do I want to put this point? Kind of want to get that back up to 5 at least. Let's do that.
She refers to your corresponding ages.
And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me about another, perhaps even more fundamental aspect of reality.
I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education for, if not sharing?
Impossible. Cannot win. Okay. Yeah, because we can max get 12 on the dice plus 6. Right. Whereas... 1 in 12 chance? Wait, we can't get it. Wait, can we? Oh, it's check 14, yeah. So we need 10. Alright. We'll try... What is...
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
What is this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
What, really?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I mean, what is this place here?
Ah.
Are we just fucking with her now?
This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
Huh.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat.
I suspected.
I saw in motion.
Wonderful.
What's that?
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yeah.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags.
So a hipster. Got it.
She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I like this option a lot. I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I may be part of an infraculture.
And what would that be?
Disco.
I can see that, yes. I dabble in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory. Nothing infra about disco, baby.
Your disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
The new?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-coloured everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now.
Champagne? That doesn't sound like anything I'd be into. I'm straight edge.
Of course. You're much more grounded. A serious detective on a case called Reality. Speaking of, is there anything else?
What are you?
What I am not is a basic term of reality.
There may be a way to get her speaking about herself at some later juncture.
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
What's the big time?
The revolution.
Ah, and what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
And who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists
40
too.
million.
They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Poor anarchists.
She likes the totality of it.
Could say they got totally shot in the head.
Indeed. They piled them in mass graves in Ozon. And, well, that's the last anyone heard of those people.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it.
I had a deluge too, in my head.
Yes, an acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse.
Yes, I know what exacerbated means. Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing. So he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place.
Just throws him under the bus, right?
Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
And by liberals you mean?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did they win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head.
Mm-hmm.
At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am. They believe in mineral rights. Yeah, I don't think that's me.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Where was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
What? Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
And what next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
And what happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eslary communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Saying it's been like this for 43 years?
Time flies.
What have we been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
All that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing.
That's when they discovered disco.
Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage,
Ugh.
unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
Okay, we did it.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
Would have sought a medical solution? I asked you.
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Would have sought a medical option?
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago?
Oh, isn't this kind of topical? Privatized healthcare with hygiene, modest social care, perhaps a little research program?
Good hygiene. Really. A very moderate
It is a
solution
very
to an
moderate answer
extreme
there.
problem. It's those sort of half measures that doomed the authorities in Grad. When they failed to step up, Marzov and his party stepped in. In this particular case, maybe a more robust state response might have been appropriate.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable.
Alright, enough about that.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Now's your chance. Ask her who she is. She won't get out this time.
Seriously, I want to know what you are. Stop dodging. What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
Potentially starkly honest.
I am an ultra.
Oh.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
Dios mío, a liberal.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a centrist at heart. A real moralist, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
You're a monster.
That's a pity. I hope we can remain collegial despite it. Remember, we were partners, whether you like to admit it or not. There's blood on many hands, I assure you. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a patriot, huh?
Yes.
The lally lule low.
But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
I mean, I'll need more points to pass it anyway. A double six is always a win. Let's fucking roll the dice.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all.
Alright, that's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
Alright, that was a lot of info. The next person I want to talk to is going to be her up there. But considering how long that one conversation took, I'm going to call this here. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to call it here. I need to save, speaking of. Sure, there we go. Right. It has been fun. This game continues to be super interesting. Thank you all for hanging. Thank you all for hanging and chatting and stuffs. I'm probably not on this evening, playing Magic with friends. So we'll be back on tomorrow afternoon, around the same time. I'll try and get on a little earlier tomorrow. Yeah. So have a good one, folks. Stay good. Take care. Thank you again for hanging out. And I will see you all later. Bye-bye.